and welcome to Montana State University Billings Career Cafe today. We are focusing on our computer programs, and I am Stephanie Cowan, and I work at the City College campus where we have most of the computer programs. So again, thank you for joining us. So before we get into the core areas of the computer programs, I just wanted to give you a little background about City College itself. We are one of the 5 colleges for MSU Billings, and we are located on the west end, so about 6 miles between the 2 campuses, and currently serve about 1,500 students, and the university has, together we serve around 4,000 students. At City College, we separate our programs into kind of 5 categories. We have health and safety, we have business, transportation, and computers, and of course industry. We have currently about a ratio of 14 to 1 as far as student to faculty ratio. So again, pretty small size classes where you can really get to know your faculty and get your questions answered, and assistance in the labs. The average class size for the whole university is 23, but in our programs you'll have some where you might have 8 or 9 students, and so you definitely get that one-on-one experience with the instructor. At City College too, with a lot of our programs, they're applied programs, and so they have the lectures, they have the tests, but we get to apply what they are learning in labs and in internships or in clinical settings, so they get to really apply the knowledge that they're learning in the classroom. At City College, we have over 30 certificate and associate degrees. And again, as I was mentioning, they're very much applied for the most part. They're market driven, and then in the sense of we look at our regional market and say, what's the need, what are the demands, and make sure that we're fulfilling those by the programs that we offer. Specializing, working with our industry partners to make sure that we're meeting their base needs, and trying to offer them in a format that is workable for our students and for the employers. And the best thing, of course, is our programs with a certificate and associates are short-term. So we're looking at 9 months up to around 24 months to earn those credentials and go out into the workforce or transition to the university campus for a bachelor's program. All right, so let's start talking about the computer programs. At City College, we have 3 main areas. We have a few options within those, but we've broken them into 3. So the first one we have is the computer programming and application development, and as the title implies, it's working with programming languages, and that's the focus of that one. We also have cybersecurity and network support, and this is a little bit more broad-based one that, of course, cybersecurity is important for all programs to have in the computer area, but having that knowledge as well as some networking and desktop support skill sets. And the last area is our computer systems technology that focuses a lot more on the networking side of things. Of course, has the cyber side of it as well, but goes farther in depth in the networking, and they're looking at some new options that we'll talk about in a few minutes. And if you have any questions today, we are live with chat, so you're welcome to type in a question if you have a question. We have staff that are available to answer those questions for you. So again, feel free to chat with us or later on give us a call as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the computer programming and application development program. This is an Associate of Applied Science degree, so it is that 2-year degree is what we normally say. Sometimes students take a little bit longer if they want to spread it out. This one focuses on databases, web development, application development. And this is not a computer science degree, which a lot of people would be looking at bachelor's, master's. It's not the theory-based, it's actually applying. So they're learning really specific languages, 3 or 4 different kinds of programming languages that they then apply by creating databases, creating web pages, and putting it into use, creating an app. That's something very popular. I really like this program in that the last semester they have a capstone course where the student gets to create their own application or their own program, and with the instructor's approval and guidance, and then at the end of the semester they do a presentation in front of business people and the staff as well, because we like to watch as well. So they get to learn and then also be able to talk to individuals about the application, because a lot of times students come to us thinking, I'm choosing computers because I don't really like working with people as much. I like working behind the scenes. But we all know that in a lot of our fields that yes, you might be that computer tech person, but you're serving someone else, trying to help them with the application or the web page. And so you have to be able to explain and help them understand what you're doing and hear them as well. So I love that we integrate that with this program. And it's really cool because our students are come up with some really creative ideas and creative apps to use. So it's really fun to watch. And in this program, once they complete, we talked with our current instructor and where do they go? A lot of businesses will hire these skill sets, and so. But he said recently in our region itself, a lot of banks and hospitals have been hiring our students with these skill sets. So, but again, it can be for small or larger companies, so we're not creating the next Bill Gates, but we're creating a lot of those programmers that can do the medium-sized projects and small projects for companies. So to talk more about this program, we have some videos with John Pinnell, who is our current instructor, as well as one of his current students, Rory. So they'll be up next.
Hi, my name's John Pinnell. I'm an instructor in the Computer Programming and Application Development program here at City College. It's a very exciting program. We have students that go into one of three areas, either web development, application development, or database development. Really, it's three of the hottest fields out there in terms of employment, so there's lots of opportunities for students to graduate our program. Additionally, students may elect to go on to get a 4-year degree. The 2-year degree that we offer here is very much focused on doing the work rather than the theory. Okay, so that'd be the difference that I would propose between this and a 4-year program, is it will be much more concerned about the implementation. We'll learn what theory we need to learn, but we won't spend too much time going too deep on that. In terms of job opportunities, that is fantastic out there. Software developers are in very high demand, so it's a great program in that regard.
What kind of pay might students expect to make after graduation?
In terms of pay, there's a bit of a differential between Montana versus the rest of the country. Here in Montana, average starting salaries would probably be in the $60,000 to $80,000 a year range. If you're willing to leave Montana, it is crazy out there. So 6-figure salaries are not unheard of for people just out of school.
All right. John, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
You bet.
Hello, Daniel here with City College, and I am here with Rory, Computer Systems and Application Development student, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about his program. So Rory, what made you choose this career field?
I think, from a young age, I've always just loved computers. I love computer games. I've always been fascinated inside technology, and so I've always been dabbling with programming. But the reason why I've stayed in computer science is just how hands-on and how logical and how mathematical everything is, while also meaning extremely creative. There's this beautiful blend of mathematics and art that really comes together when you're programming and creating applications.
And so what has been your best experience at City College so far?
Just how hands-on everything is. Well, pretty much every day in class we get 20-minute lecture about some new concept, and then the rest of the class is actually applying that concept with teachers who are extremely helpful and are just as passionate about the subject you're learning as the other students.
What are your goals, your plans when you graduate?
Well, I think that's one of the best things about this degree is that there's just so many options. So many people, so many other students that I know have never even given any thought because it's just so applicable to so many different areas. I mean, almost any field you can think of is going to have some desire to have someone with a high computer literacy or programming background or computer science background or application development background working in that field. So personally, I feel very similar on that front, in that as I graduate, I just want to continue to keep learning and see where this degree takes me.
All right, well, thank you, Rory, for your time today.
My pleasure.
All right, well, we really appreciate the messages that they shared about the computer programming and application development degree. So again, thanks for their time and energy. But let's go on to the next area. So let's talk a little bit about the Computer Systems Technology degree. Now this is actually the first computer degree that we actually developed at our campus. And it is also an Associate of Applied Science degree, so it is a 2-year degree. And its base focus is networking. However, they've really created a good, well-rounded education for computers, because even if you're a networker, you still need to know some of the other skill sets. And so they've redesigned the program to make sure they have an introduction to designing a programming class. They have a web design class. They have a hardware class in there. So again, even though it's focused more towards networking, it has that well-rounded feel to it so that they can walk into a job and help in those areas as needed as well. So again, this focus in the computer systems technology is towards, again, cybersecurity, good portion of it at this point, networking. And our networking primarily is focused towards Cisco. Cisco is one of the largest companies out there that creates the networking software and hardware, and they actually create curriculum, and our program uses that curriculum for instruction. We have one of our instructors you're going to hear from in just a few minutes that has been part of the academy for many years, and it's been recognized nationally by them, so it's pretty exciting. And the nice thing about it is we know that our information is up to date and current, and so we're meeting the needs of our industry partners across the world, actually, versus just even locally. It's pretty exciting. They are looking at some future changes in the next year or two, adding some additional focus on doing some computer forensics. That's another thing that's really starting to come into play, and so we're looking at adding that into this program as well to differentiate it a little bit. And again, just as with the programming, a lot of this is hands-on. It's learning how the networking system works, how to set them up, how to troubleshoot them. And we've had a lot of students that have worked for small companies to larger companies. We've had actually, MSC Billings currently employs a couple of our CST graduates, but also we've had a couple that have gone to work for Cisco themselves. And that's really exciting. So it's not just here for Billings. It can be, but it can be nationally or internationally. So there's a lot of opportunities. We've also been working a lot with our healthcare partners in our region. They really need those computer technology skills in their field, and so we've had a lot of students do some internships with them that then turn into job opportunities in the future. So it's really exciting for our students. And a lot of them, again, are looking at, some want to work for themselves, some want to work for a company, but they're getting a great foundation, up-to-date skills, and they have the opportunity to take some industry certifications if they want to again help boost their employment opportunities once they leave our program. So we encourage that, of course. And the opportunities are really out there for this skill set. So to talk more about this, we have our instructor Bruce Brumley along with one of his students as well.
Hello again, Daniel here with City College, and I am here today with Bruce Brumley, computers instructor. So Bruce, what programs do you teach here at City College?
I teach in the computer systems technology primarily. I do a little bit of programming, a little bit of the help desk and things like that as well.
Okay. And what kind of equipment do students in your programs get to work on?
In my particular program, we do a lot of networking, so we're primarily using Cisco equipment, but we also use Dell servers. They do virtualization. It's a pretty big mix of different pieces of hardware.
Okay. And are there any internship opportunities for students?
Yes, if students wish to have an internship, the majority of our students will actually get an internship in their last semester here. We've had them at banks, had them with ISPs, we've had them at hospitals, we've had them all over in Billings. Okay,
great. What kind of pay potential can students expect in this program?
The pay is actually pretty good, and the demand keeps going up and the need keeps going up. So once a student gets established, and as long as they keep doing the retraining and as long as they're still really into it, the sky's the limit for them. I have some current grads that are making over $100,000 a year.
Wow. All right, that sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bruce, well, thank you for taking time to speak with us today.
Sure.
Hello, I'm Daniel here with City College, and here with me is Lily, a computer systems tech student. And we're going to talk with her, ask her a couple questions here. So Lily, why did you choose this career field?
I've always been interested in just computers and computer language, and when I was looking for something to do with my future, I just thought it kind of aligned with something I'd be interested in, and after experiencing the program here, I'm pretty passionate about it, so it worked out in my favor.
And what has been your best experience here at City College?
All of the teachers here are incredibly knowledgeable about what they're doing, and also a huge benefit that I found through the City College is that there is incredible access to equipment. Like, we always have equipment to work on. We never have to do, stuff where it's theoretical. It's all hands-on. It's really awesome.
Great. And what are your goals once you graduate from the program?
Right now, probably get certifications in what I'm learning. So like, right now I'm in a lot of networking classes, so Cisco certifications, and potentially just looking forward to finding a career path within IT.
Lily, thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
All right, again, thanks for that great information. I love to hear from our current students, and I love to hear their passion, whether it comes in or they create it once they get here. So really great information. I appreciate their time. All right, so let's go on to our last area, and that is our cybersecurity, networking technology, networking support areas. And we have two options in this program area. We have an Associate of Applied Science, which is similar to the other two. They're a two-year degree, but it's an applied science. We also have an Associate of Science option as well. And that, when we say Associate of Science, it's also a two-year degree, but it tends to be more of a transfer program. So they would take the same general education classes as if you're going for a bachelor's, and that's for us here at MSU Billings. So that's around 31 credits. And then they take about 30 credits in their core area, so in computers. So it's a degree that's kind of half and half general education, half computers. And it really lends itself to continue on for a bachelor's program, so it's a nice transition for those students. Or sometimes we have an individual that has a bachelor's degree already, or has a lot of their general education covered, and they say, hey, I just want to add a little computer knowledge to it. So it's a great pathway for those individuals looking to enhance a little bit in their computer areas. But for those that are really wanting the full in-depth, they're going to want to go for the applied science option, because that means we're actually probably doing about 60, between 50 to 60 credits of computer. So a little bit more courses, a little bit more hands-on, better base knowledge to build on. So with this program, again, they also have that kind of well-rounded area, so that even though it's a desktop and cybersecurity, they do a little bit on the programming, a little bit on the web design and software. But this one is kind of where I was talking about at the beginning. It's a broad-based one. So they touch on some networking, they touch on cybersecurity, they do some desktop support, and some programming. So they get a pretty good, well-rounded education in all those areas, so that they can be that support person. So, a lot of companies need that go-to IT person that can answer a software question, then the next one be answer a networking question. And so they have to have a good base knowledge. Now, in this program, though, they will do some more in-depth in specific areas at times. So again, just like the other ones, they'll do a little bit more in one area versus another. But in our region, actually, in the Billings area, this is pretty high demand, because we have a lot of small, medium-sized companies that they may only be able to hire one IT person, and so they need that person to be a jack of all trades. And so with this skill set, they're getting a lot of that, again, base foundation that can help a company out. And we are also looking to do some updating in the future. We always are. Computers, as we know, it's just changing all the time. So I talked with our instructor, Ben Johnson, and he's looking at doing some adjustments, and again, just making sure it's relevant, and again, hoping to help create that passion for students to really go into this and keep that training going so that they're very effective out in the job market. Again, just like any other place, the other ones that we talked about, small, medium, even larger companies. Here locally, the hospitals, Charter Communications has hired a lot of our students from this program. So a lot of different areas will hire these skill sets, as I mentioned. So let's hear a little bit more from Ben Johnson, who is our current instructor, and what he has to say about the program. I'm here at City College with one of our computer instructors. His name is Ben Johnson, and he is our lead instructor for our cybersecurity network support degree. So Ben, can you tell us just a little bit about your program currently and what it focuses on?
Sure. So in the kind of the IT world, IT realm, we've generally split this into networking focus, which is the data communications and the wires and the technologies that move signals around. Programming, which can take either web programming or more formal programming aspects. Those are the two other programs we have. And mine is kind of in the middle. Mine's kind of the catch-all, the gap, that we're trying to give you a very balanced set of skills and knowledge across all the domains of IT. And basically with the intent for you to go in and acquire an entry-level position across any IT opportunity.
Great. So good breadth, maybe not as much depth as those other two. So
correct, in those areas.
Yeah,
right.
in those areas. Wonderful.
There's a few areas that we will basically go a little deeper than that they don't have to. So.
Yeah, wonderful. So when you're working with these students, what are some opportunities for them once they go out? Where are they looking for jobs or employment opportunities?
Well, the good news with that is, as far as dedicated IT jobs, there's a certain limitation. Okay, they're going to be more prevalent in larger organizations, and we don't have a ton of large organizations in Montana. But with a general set of IT skills, almost every business needs it, uses it, and values it. Okay. So sometimes these skills are something that just applying for a receptionist or a administration job of some kind or something like this, your cyber skills or your digital awareness, digital skills will put you over the top, okay? Because the people around you that have been there in that company for a while, there's a lot of gaps in the skills they don't have. So you become a valuable member just in kind of helping and being part of that team.
Well, that's wonderful. Thanks for your time, Ben. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, Stephanie.
All right. Well, again, appreciate Ben's time. I love hearing from our faculty because, again, hopefully you've seen the passion or heard the passion from them about all the great opportunities that their students have through this education. So that kind of rounds out the programs, but I also want to make sure that you have some information today. Hey, if I am interested, can I do this? Is it affordable? What are my options? And so I always like to really express that, attending MSc Billings and the City College is very much an affordable option. We have scholarships that we give out. Last year, we, between the two campuses, gave out $1.8 million worth of scholarships to students. We have some that are very specific to City College itself and to certain programs, so that's really exciting. But we also have a lot that are up for grabs. You could be a student at either campus. So again, some free money that helps students afford their education. And when we look at our students, over 60% of them receive either financial aid through the federal government and or scholarships to help them make this affordable. We know it's a big investment. And as I mentioned though at the front end, the nice thing about City College is it's an investment, but it's a pretty, it's a short term to get a long term return on it, and a big return, as you could hear from the instructors when we asked them about employment opportunities and the pay. And it's exciting to think that with a couple years of really hard work, you could be out there making some really good money, pay off any financial aid you might owe, and be there making a good living. So it's really exciting. And just to emphasize that a little bit, there was a study, a report done by the Department of Labor in 2017 here in Montana. And when they surveyed all the colleges and our graduates, City College graduates earned over $5,800 more than the other two-year graduates in the state of Montana. So that's pretty exciting. I'd love to hear that our students are doing well. And so, if you are interested in City College in one of these computer programs, or maybe a different program at our campus, the next step is to come see us. We have a lot of opportunities to check us out. If you'd like to do an in-person visit, we're doing in-person visits still at this time. But if you don't have that time or don't want to come on campus right away, we have virtual visits that we can set up with our admissions counselor. So, set that up with us, and we'd love to show you around. Right now through December, we are giving a $500 scholarship away each month to those that do set up and attend one of those visits. So again, great opportunity, encourage you to do that. The next thing is, of course, if you are interested, is to apply for admissions. It's never too early to get that going, even for next fall. We start our next semester is in January. We have spring semester, we have summer, we have fall, but getting going with us. And as I mentioned, we have scholarships, but we also have a lot of our students receive federal financial aid or state aid. And we have steps on our website on how to fill out the FAFSA, which is a federal form. It takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it because it can give you some opportunity, some funds, whether it be grants, loans, or work study to help you make it affordable, because it can, it costs a little bit, but again, get that assistance to help it make it affordable for you. And lastly, but not least, once you have applied for admissions, then having you apply for some of those scholarships. Our priority deadline for scholarships is February 1st of every year. And so now's a great time to get that going and see if you can get some free funds to help you with that educational cost. So again, thank you so much for coming today. If you have any questions, you can ask us in chat, or you can always call us at the number at 247-3007, or go online to our website, and right on the front page there's a visit button, there's an apply button, everything right there on the front page. So again, thank you for your time today and for attending.